भावामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्र्यवतो गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम् शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ना सदासेन्नो सदासेत्तदानीं नासेद्रजो नो व्योमा परो यत किमावरे वक्कुहकस्य शर्मन्ना अम्भः किमासेद्गहनं गभीरम् न मृत्युरमृतं तर्हिणा रात्रिया अह्न आसेत् प्रकेतः आनीतवातग्ः स्वधया तदेकम् तस्माद्ध्यान्यन्न परः किञ्चनास तम आसेत् तमसा गूढमग्रे प्रकेतम् सरिलघुं सर्वमा इदम् तुच्छैनाभविहितं यदासीत् तमसस्तन्महिना जायतैकम् कामस्तदग्रे समवर्तताधि मनसोरेतः प्रथमं यदासीत् सतो बन्धुमसति निरविन्दन् हृदि प्रतिष्ठा कवयो मनीषा तिरश्चिनो विततो रश्मिरेषाम् अधस्विदासे द्विपरिस्विदासे रेतोधा आसन् महिमान आसन् स्वधा अवस्थात् प्रयतिः परस्तात् को अर्धावेदक इह प्रवोचत कुत आचात कुत इयं विसृष्टिः अर्वाग्देवा अस्य विसर्जनाय अथा को वेदयत आबभूव इयं विसृष्टिर्यत आबभूव यदि वा दधे यदि वा न यो अस्याध्यक्षः परमे व्योमन् सो अंगवेद यदि वा न वेद ओम शांति शांति शांति.
Invoking our Bhagwan's blessings, Multimedia team warmly welcomes all of you for this latest edition of Sri Sathya Sai Vidya Vahini Family Satsang. Thank you Shivaji brother and Manas brother for the reverberating chant of Nasdiya Suktam.
Sister, you have to unmute.
The grandness and beauty of creation described in the Suktam leads to adoration. You know, Srujana, it also refreshed my memory of watching the Secret of Creation video in Chaitanya Jyoti Museum.
Along with the adoration of the divine, don't you agree with me, Keshava brother, that the recitation has set the vibration high for the rest of the satsang?
Yes, sister. With such a vibration, we should introduce the context to our audience. So to set the context, we welcome the director of Sri Sathya Sai Vidya Vahini, Srimati Karuna Swarup Munsi, ma'am. We welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Let us once again, give me a second. Yep, it's all good. So once again, from the bottom of our hearts, let's place our foreheads at the beautiful lotus feet of our living, beautiful, divine Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Loving Sai Ram to all my divine sisters and brothers on the multimedia team and the entire Sri Sathya Sai Vidya Vahini family. Today, we are holding our 11th monthly satsang of the Sri Sathya Sai Vidya Vahini family. What an amazing family event this has become. Last year, around this time, we were experiencing acute distress because we were at the peak of the second wave of pandemic, and we all were facing so many personal challenges and felt a need for support and comfort. So we naturally reached out to our boss, our divine director and God, our beloved Swami, our beloved Bhagwan. Thus, this beautiful tradition of Vidya Vahini family began. Now, thanks to the selflessness and the diligence of the Satsang team, every month we hear, see and learn from so many members of the Sri Sathya Sai Vidya Vahini family. Because when we work digitally, we are just anonymous, faceless, voiceless entities. The family Satsang has introduced us to each other and given us a chance to learn from each other. For me, this is particularly important because when I joined Vidya Vahini, I was attending so many calls with disembodied voices, and people would say, "Hi, I'm Chitra, I'm Sudha," but that's a beautiful Indian name, but I didn't know which Chitra, which team, which place, and I never had a face to put to each name. Through this satsang, I have had a great education in getting to know my wonderful sisters and brothers, and I feel honored to work with such amazing, awesome, dedicated people who are so humble and so selfless. All of you do work, if anyone were to monetize, worth I don't know how much, and you give it to Swami's lotus feet, no byline, no credit, no recognition. To each one of you, I offer my respects. I have nothing but highest respect and gratitude for everybody in the Sri Sathya Sai Vidya Vahini family. Now, more importantly, these family satsangs are a beautiful reminder for each one of us to stay focused on the core purpose of our sadhana. Why are we here? Because every session is a critical reminder and every session is a reflective platform. It forces us to question something very important. And what might that be? Our relationship with our Lord. It calls upon us to renew our vows with him and re-examine our commitment to his lotus feet. Every healthy relationship must be based on fundamentals of honesty, and it has to stand the test of time. No relationship in life is as important as the one that we have with our Guru, our God, our mother, father, best friend, and our sweet Lord, Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. So every night when we go to bed, my dear sisters and brothers, let us ask ourselves a fundamental question. What did I do to serve my sweet Bhagwan today? And what could I have done better? And every morning when we wake up with a smile, because we have so much to thank him. From the deepest recesses of our hearts, let's thank him for giving us yet another day to be associated with his divine mission. After offering our gratitude for this privilege to serve under the Sri Sathya Sai banner, let us always pray to Swami to help us to think thoughts that please him, speak words that meet his standards, and perform actions that are willed by him, so that we are really his instruments. All of us who are here because of his infinite compassion on us, his love for us, and also because of the blessings of our elders and our ancestors, including those who are on the other side, who might have left the body. From heaven, they bless us as our angels. This seva is critical for our growth because it will bring about bountiful blessings upon us, our families, and our generations to come, here and now, and also hereafter, because we all have to prepare for that moment of truth. I pray to Swami at this satsang that we may all experience the joy of serving him till our last breath. With that, I thank you. And I must say, I'm so looking forward to the multimedia team satsang because I know how much effort and excitement it has generated. And that's the whole purpose. There can't be any better team building exercise than each team coming together to prepare for a satsang worthy of his divine name. So multimedia team, go ahead, slay it, rock it. It is your night. And thank you and Sairam.
Sairam, thank you, Karna Madam, for those truly inspiring words and setting up the context for today. You know, when you said about relationship to God and to Swami, that was really touching for the whole team. I mean, the whole team has been, only based on that, they're all working selfless service, nothing else. I mean, it's not about Vidya Vahini or work, it's everything towards Swami. So that's a wonderful topic you touched upon. And we are going to, discuss more about it today. So as we all know, we are all part of the divine design. That is God's master plan. But how do we truly experience that we are nothing but the part of the divine design, which is unfolding before our eyes each and every moment?
Yes, whether in Jala, Sthala or Akasha, whether we are in Jagrata, Swapna or Shushupti state, let's just take a moment to think about this. How is it that we receive an apt message from a total stranger who knows nothing about us? Who is the one who sets the alarm for the sun to rise and paint the sky in a unique color every moment? Who has designed the butterflies to have a unique design, just like our fingerprints?
Yes, brother. But would you agree with me that we are all acting here at this point of time of the divine design? As there is a divine design, hope you must be eager to know more about the aspects of it, aren't you?
Yes. So let's all together explore this multifaceted divine design. Next, we have sisters Anuradha and Sabita, who will be introducing us to one of the aspects of divine design. Saira.
Sabita ma'am, I am now convinced that we all are here as per the divine design. Don't you agree with me?
I agree with you, Anuradha. Now tell me, as our brothers discussed, which aspect of the divine design comes to your mind?
It is alignment. Aligning to the divine shifts our journey inwards, empowers us, and helps us to transform ourselves into spiritual beings on a human journey. What do you say?
True, Anuradha. Om Shri Sai Sakala Samshaya Haraya Namaha. Our beloved Swami has graciously guided us on how to align ourselves, experience, and to enjoy it. Let us now listen to Swami's directions on alignment.
ముఖ్యము మనం అనేక విధమైనటువంటి యొక్క సాధనలు చేస్తున్నాము. ఇంకా పైన ఈ సాధనతో కాదు, మనం ఆచరణలో పెట్టాలి.
Embodiments of divine Atma. We have been doing different types of sadhana for a long time.
ఏది చెప్పుతున్నామో, ఏది తలస్తున్నామో, ఏది మనం చేస్తున్నామో, ఈ మూడింటి యొక్క ఏకత్వాన్ని మనం నిరూపించాలి.
Enough of all sadhanas. We should practice now. We should prove the unity of thought, word and deed in our own
actions. The proper study of mankind is man. అదే అప్పుడు నీవు మానవుడిగా రూపొందుతావు.
Then only you can really become a proper man, and it is in this context it is.
ఈ మూడింటి యొక్క ఏకత్వమే కింద కాకపోతే మనస్ అన్యత్, వచస్ అన్యత్, కర్మణ్ అన్యత్, దురాత్మనం, నీవు దురాత్ముడిగా మారిపోతావు.
If you cannot unify your word, thought and deed and make them go in three different directions, you are a duratma and not a mahatma.
అందుకోసమనే హార్ట్, హెడ్, హ్యాండ్, ఇది 3HV. ఈ మూడింటి ఎందుకు కూడా మనము సరైనటువంటి ఆచరణలో నిరూపించాలి, ఆదర్శంగా మనం నిరూపించాలి.
It is with reference to our heart, our head and our hand. We should prove ourselves as a model, as an ideal,
కనుకనే
and
ఈనాడు
an example.
ఆధ్యాత్మికమంతా కూడా కేవలం ఆడంబరంగా రూపొందుతూ ఉంటుండాలి.
Today all our spirituality is becoming only a big show.
కావాల్సిన ఉపన్యాసాలు చెప్తున్నాము,
We are delivering very big speeches.
కావలసిన సేవలు చేస్తున్నాము.
We are also undertaking
భజనలు సలుపుతున్నాము.
We are also doing bhajan.
ఇంకా అనేక విధమైన సాధనలు చేస్తున్నాము.
And many more things
ఎన్ని
are
చేసి
undertaken.
ప్రయోజనం ఏంటి? మూడింటి యొక్క ఏకత్వం కాక.
Without bringing about unity between thought, word and deed, what is the use of doing any number of things in
ఈ
any way?
సత్వరజో తమో గుణముల యొక్క ఏకత్వాన్ని మనం అనుభవించాలి.
We should experience the unity of sattva, raja and tamo
అప్పుడే
gunas.
మనకు ఆనందము.
Then only we are full of
అప్పుడే
this.
ఆత్మ సందర్శనం.
Then only we can get the vision of Atma.
Working in the Vidya Vahini multimedia team helps me to align myself to the divine purpose, because when we skill our knowledge, life is well aligned. And this has been my experience in MM team. After I finished the MM training and started creating PowerPoint presentations, it's a rewarding experience, because it is like having a team, a professional team that too at our disposal to make each presentation a little better every time. Not only that, but the knowledge of using copyright-free images helps me in other activities, classes, and I now tend to look only for copyright images, which has become a second nature. And the beauty of MM team is other volunteers encourages and are very happy to help us to learn new skills. There is one experience where I tried my hand in poster making. After several rounds of reviews and suggestions made by the mentoring team, the outcome was something I couldn't have done on my own. Finally, when it was posted, the team appreciated the poster as if it was only by my efforts, when in reality, they could have done even a better one in just few hours. This makes everyone in the team feel useful and wanted, just as Swami makes all the devotees feel important. I feel whether updating our skills, sharing our knowledge to help others grow, if I see all work as spiritual exercise, then my life is well aligned to the divine design. I'm very grateful and happy that I'm able to be in MM team, learning something new every day and being in touch with Swami. And as we have heard Swami's discourse just now, have alignment with my thought, word, and deed. Jai Sai Ram.
So nice to hear your experience, Jyoti sister. The same happening to me also, sister. It is my passion for education that got me aligned with Vidya Vahini. My dream is to become a teacher, and through Vidya Vahini, Swami is giving me an opportunity to do seva of helping millions of students through teachers. When I do Vidya Vahini work, my thoughts are aligned to him and I forget all my problems. I can see that he is bringing me up by learning new technology and improving my skills. As a multimedia volunteer, I am like a squirrel preparing PPTs for school children. Each time when I completed my PPT, getting immense satisfaction, like offering a flower at the lotus feet. I am doing it eagerly with his grace and thanking him for this opportunity. I feel this alignment with him constantly, from creation to dissolution, everything is aligned to the divine. Now, let us listen to a wonderful rendering of Sai Om Bhajan by Anuradha sister, along with wonderful paintings by Sister Prasita.
Om Sai Om Sai Om Tan Man Pran Mein Sai Om Tan Man Pran Mein Sai Om 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 शयन सपन में साई ओम शयन सपन में साई ओम गगन पवन में साई ओम गगन पवन में साई ओम शयन सपन में साई ओम नयन नयन में साई ओम नयन नयन में साई ओम जन्म मरण में साई ओम जन्म मरण में साई ओम 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 तन मन प्राण में साई ओम साई ओम साई ओम साई ओम शयन सपन में साई ओम गगन पवन में साई ओम शयन सपन में साई ओम नयन नयन में साई ओम जन्म मरण में साई ओम जन्म मरण में साई ओम साई ओम साई ओम साई ओम
Sai Om, Sai Om, Sai Om. Wow, what a wonderful rendition by Sister Anuradha. What say, Priya sister?
Sairam, precious sister, it was indeed an amazingly sung bhajan. So beautiful.
Now I am convinced that if we align our thoughts, words, and deed, we get exceptionally aligned to the divine design. But which is it? But just I wonder, how can we achieve that?
Precious sister, I think aligning ourselves with the divine confers us proximity with divinity.
So that prompts a question, what exactly is the proximity to the divinity?
I remember Swami's words when he said, so close that you think you are with God, that close is God with you. So is Swami Parti Nivasi or is he Hriday Nivasi? Come, let's hear it from Swami himself.
Though knowing perfectly that I am always in the divine proximity, I experience it more and more when I joined the Sri Sathya Vidya program. At the time of joining, technology and methodology both were new to me. It's only because of Bhagwan's blessings and mentor support I could learn and start contributing more in the multimedia. Multimedia presentations require technology, techniques, and a lot of creativity. The ideas have always come from an inner consciousness which I feel is for me. There were days when I used to spend a lot of time alone at home making presentations. I could feel Swami's presence and guidance many times. Just to share an instance, when I was creating a PPT on shapes where I had to bring different shapes, I was not getting any idea on how to draw or present them. Hours passed by and no ideas came. I kept on praying to Swami for an idea, and when I woke up the next day, I got the idea of how to do it. It was as if someone guided me the steps from inside. Swami is the only inspiration and source of strength for me. He is enabling me to contribute, and he is always nearer to me than anyone on this earth. Now I feel his proximity in the form of his guidance that makes me contribute more effectively and guards me from making mistakes. Thank you, Sayam.
Yes, Vali sister, very true. It is he who guides us and inspires us. So, Sairam, my dear sisters and brothers, my journey with Vidya Vahini has been a highly punctuated one. Swami has often said, you take one step towards me, I will take 1,000 steps towards you. But in my case, it has always been a case where I had taken one step backwards. I had joined as a volunteer. I had registered as a volunteer when Vidya Vahini program was launched, but I could not contribute to even one asset. So in the content creating team, I was part of it in multiple aspects, but then not even one content I could create. And then there was a period of lull where I was not involved at all. Then it was during the exhibition which happened in Prashantinland that I could help a few schools to create the posters. And again, a period of no activity followed. So each time there was some activity, I was stepping back. And it was during one of those satsangs, Vidya Vahini satsangs in Vrindavan, that I was asked if I could be part of the Vidya Vahini multimedia team, which I was very happy to be part of. And then came a period of various activities. I was more into contributing to the multimedia materials, be it images, etc., than creating the content as such. Then there was a period where we were working on the copyright rules to be formatted. After that came a period where the Vidya Vahini gallery was being scrutinized, followed by a period where we enhanced the gallery, where we contributed and got our friends to contribute to the gallery, where we saw an increase of the gallery content to over 5 to 6 fold. And as it happened earlier with me, one more step back, again a period of no activity. So, but all this time I was working on images, editing, etc., but never touched my hand on the video editing. So one fine day I got a message on my email showing that there is a heavy discount which is available on a video editing tool. And this message kept repeating every day, to a point that I subscribed to it and learned the video editing. Then I could contribute for quite a few videos in different avenues and various capacities. But overall, it's been my experience that every time I was taking a step backward, but it was Swami who was taking 1,000 steps around me and coming in front of me with a new opportunity to serve in his mission. This reminds me of the discourse Swami was giving us when we were leaving after completing our masters. It was in 1995. He was telling us, many of you are thinking that you are leaving Perth. Obviously, because after a period of 7 years in close proximity with him, we were leaving, and we were quite struck by the fact that we cannot be physically there with him anymore. And he said, many of you are thinking that you are going far away from Parthi. But however far you go away from Parthi, you can never be far away from Parthishwara. I will not allow that. This was an assurance he gave to us that day. And Vidya Vahini has been a reassurance for me of the same aspect which Swami said. No matter whichever part of the world you're working in his mission, serving him, you are always in close proximity with him. you are dear to him. And he is ours. So now let's listen to a bhajan from Lakshmi Pratyusha's sister, Sai Hamara, along with the wonderful portrayal of his proximity, which is depicted by Umesh sir. Sai Ram.
साई हमारा हम साई के ऐसा प्रेम हमारा, साई हमारा हम साई के ऐसा प्रेम हमारा, साई राम हमारा, साई राम हमारा, साई राम हमारा, साई राम हमारा। सत्य साई है नाम तुम्हारा, शिरडी साई अवतारा, सत्य साई है नाम तुम्हारा, शिरडी साई अवतारा। हिंदू मुस्लिम सिख ईसाई सबका पालनहारा, हिंदू मुस्लिम सिख ईसाई सबका पालनहारा, साई राम हमारा, साई राम हमारा, साई राम हमारा, साई राम हमारा। साई हमारा हम साई के ऐसा प्रेम हमारा, साई राम हमारा, साई राम हमारा। सत्य साई है नाम तुम्हारा, शिरडी साई अवतारा, हिंदू मुस्लिम सिख ईसाई सबका पालनहारा, साई राम हमारा, साई राम हमारा, साई राम हमारा, साई राम हमारा। साई हमारा हम साई के ऐसा प्रेम हमारा।
Thank you, sister, for the wonderful bhajan. One of the best examples of proximity that comes to my mind is the spoon immersed in honey. It doles out honey but doesn't taste it. Kavita sister, when can we really enjoy the proximity to the divine?
Oh, yes. You asked $1 million question, Supriya sister. How close are we? Are we in this constant integrated awareness? The answer to all these questions lies in what hierarchy or position we give the Lord in our lives as a true sadhakas. Let us be blessed with this divine benediction and find out.
Working in multimedia team, I heard about hierarchy in design, and then I could connect to Swami's famous quote, God first, world next, and myself last. Sister Neetu, how did you experience this in your life?
Om Shri Sai Ram, offering my most humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of our most beloved Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Thank you, Swami, for blessing the opportunity to serve yourself through Sri Sathya Sai Vidya Vahini. Let me share quickly what Vidya Vahini means to me in my life. For me, Param Sadhana is Vidya Vahini. In 2020, when I enrolled for the training program, I knew only very basic of PowerPoint, but I was amazed by the wonderful team ever ready to help, support, and train me how to do the assignments. Slowly, not only I was learning, but also was truly enjoying the works. I always felt the presence of Swami around me while doing the PPTs. Also, I was so getting involved in the assignments, I completely forgot all my personal problems. After I started doing the assignments, I forgot to pray and do any other sadhana. But Swami never forgets our prayers. In 2021, after 8 years of marriage, with Swami's grace and blessings, I became pregnant without any treatment. Then I realized Vidya Vahini is my sadhana of life. But throughout my pregnancy, I continued to take up Vidya Vahini assignments despite my health issues like vomiting, tiredness, etc. Swami was taking good care of me. So I never felt tired and continued till my 2 days before my delivery. As Swami would often say, if you do my work, I will take care of yours. Rightly assured, I never had any complications during pregnancy or delivery. And Swami blessed us with a baby boy. Dear brothers and sisters, never hesitate to take up any opportunities in Vidya Vahini. Even if you don't know anything like me, there is a wonderful team ever ready to help, support, and guide you. Vidya Vahini is an experience to cherish, enjoy, and stay blissful. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.
It was indeed wonderful listening to your experience, sister. As you said, Vidya Vahini is our Param Sadhana. I too experienced it in a typical manner. It was in the year 2020, I have left my job and started preparing for my PhD examination. And for some reason, either I could only clear the written test or the interview. I was very much disappointed with myself and I was upset with Swami too. And I tried running away from Swami. During those times, on one fine day, I get a call from one of the sisters asking me if I am ready to take up an asset to prepare a PPT. Unwillingly, I accepted it and I have kept it aside. After a couple of 2 days, I get a call from the sister asking about the progress of the PPT. I told it is under progress, but believe me, I have not yet started it. And again, after a couple of days, I get a call from the sister asking me, is everything fine from my side? And what is the progress of the PPT? This made me rethink why I am trying to run away from Swami. As soon as this thought came, I just prepared the PPT and have submitted. Working with Vidya Vahini not only reconnected me with Swami, but Swami blessed me with the job which I always dreamt of. Priority brings clarity in experience. Love for divinity encompasses and surpasses all our love towards father, mother, friend. Now, let us listen to the melodious strains of Sai Mata Pita by Sister Vijayalakshmi with vivid colors painted by Sister Sujata.
Sai Mata Pita Dinabandhu Saka Sai Mata Pita Dinabandhu Saka Tere charanon mein Sai mera koti pranam Tere charanon mein Sai mera koti pranam Sai Mata Pita Dinabandhu Saka Sai Mata Pita Dinabandhu पिता दीनबन्धु सखा.
So, Sister Anjali, till now what I have understood is when we align to the divine design, we are blessed with the proximity. To enjoy that proximity, we should place the divine at the highest hierarchy of our life.
Profound, Sister Gayatri.
But, Sister, I have a query. Don't you think there should be an aspect of divine design through which we can confirm that we have placed the divine at the highest hierarchy of our life?
Yes, Sister Gayatri. I guess it must be the repetition which will help us keeping Him as our top priority throughout our lives. I remember Swami mentioning himself as Nataraja, and he only knows the agony of teaching repeatedly the dance steps. How often we have heard Swami repeating his words through various discourses? He repeats till we register, learn, practice, practice, and practice.
Yes, sister. Repetition of anything helps to master the skill and form connection in the brain. So imagine repetition of the divine name helping us to connect to the divinity. Let us listen to the divine himself.
It is said, practice makes man perfect. One can achieve perfection only by the repeated practice of an activity. So, Brother Mayank, please tell us how the repetition of the activity in Vidya Vahini helped you.
Thank you, Brother Abhishek. So, I was working on one PPT where there were lots and lots of review comments. There were almost 20-30 review comments and a mail chain of 42 mails, which took for the entire journey of this PPT to finish line. So in the meanwhile, I lost my focus of working on this PPT. I just kept that PPT aside and kept it on hold. But I think Swami had another plan. He wanted me to work on that PPT and finish it till the end and work on those repetitions of the review comments. And how I came to realize this is, I was also looking for a job change that time, but I was not getting success. The same time, as much as time I had kept the PPT aside and as much time I was wasting, I was not getting anything. I was getting very much worried. So one day I just thought, maybe I am not working on the PPT and that's why I'm not getting the offer letter of any job. So I immediately started working on the PPT, finished it. On 22nd November, I sent out the final PPT. And on the very next day, that is 23rd November, on Baba's birthday, I get the offer letter in hand. And that's how I was confirmed that was Swami's choice. So, Brother Abhishek, please share with us how has been your experience with Vidya Vahini, personally and professionally?
Beautiful experience, brother. Before I narrate my Vidya Vahini experience, I would like to narrate how the process of repetition has enabled me to build my confidence. I have done my schooling in Mumbai, where I was quite a timid and an introvert. I had never undertaken an elocution or spoken in front of the small gathering. This was in 2006 while I was doing my intermediate. My English professor, Mr. Ram Mohan Rao sir, had asked me to speak on a certain topic in front of the entire class. Although my speech was a big flop, I at least gained a little confidence that I could speak in front of a small gathering. Then I went on to speak a couple of times during my undergraduate program in the hostel and in the institute, respectively, which gradually increased my confidence to talk in front of the gathering. My testing time came when I attended a particular training institute, which was a precursor to my job. I was asked to speak on a topic which I like. I spoke on the topic, Life is a Challenge, Meet It. It was a grand success. The professor in charge then came to me and asked, "Are you an MBA student? You speak flawlessly with immense confidence. Which institute are you from?" With an immense pride, I said, "I have completed a BCom honors from Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning." This was my professional experience. Personally, I have gained a lot from Vidya Vahini program. It gives me an enormous sense of satisfaction that we would be touching the life of the young students. As of today, I have roughly created 64 PPTs, and I'm sure that I create a little better PPT than my first few PPTs. Now, let us listen to the energizing rendering of Vahe Guru by Sister Aishwarya as the Vahe Guru is revealed to the perfect brushstrokes by Sister Hema and the digital artwork by Sister Pranita.
वाहे गुरु जी बोलो, वाहे गुरु जी बोलो, सत्य नाम जी बोलो, सत्य नाम जी बोलो, नित्य नित्य जपिए तेरे नाम जी बोलो, नित्य जपिए तेरे नाम जी बोलो, सत्य नाम जी बोलो, सत्य नाम जी बोलो, राम 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 जी बोलो, राम 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 जी बोलो, नित्य नित्य जपिए राम नाम जी बोलो, नित्य नित्य जपिए राम नाम जी बोलो, कृष्ण 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 जी बोलो, कृष्ण 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 जी बोलो, नित्य नित्य जपिए कृष्ण नाम जी बोलो, नित्य नित्य जपिए कृष्ण नाम जी बोलो, वाहे गुरु जी बोलो, सत्य नाम जी बोलो, नित्य नित्य जपिए तेरे नाम जी बोलो, सत्य नाम जी बोलो, राम नाम राम 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 जी बोलो, नित्य नित्य जपिए राम नाम जी बोलो, कृष्ण 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 जी बोलो, नित्य नित्य जपिए कृष्ण नाम जी बोलो, नित्य नित्य जपिए कृष्ण नाम जी बोलो, वाहे गुरु जी बोलो, सत्य नाम जी बोलो.
What a wonderful blending of music and form. Vaheguru, Vaheguru. Yes, now I understand. Repetition is the aspect of divine design through which we can remain self-assured that we are aligned with the divine design. So, Sai Ganga, is there anything you want to add?
Yes, Didi. One more aspect of divine design comes to my mind. I feel it is the ultimate yardstick all of us to measure.
To measure what? Could you please elaborate more?
To measure the realization about we being the inseparable part of the divine design. We may term it as balance.
I guess you mean that repetition of Lord's name is panacea to achieve balance, calmness, equanimity, even during the most difficult time. Is it not so?
Very true. It is this balance and equal-mindedness that keeps us both adrift in this turbulent sea of life. After all, the divine designer has created everything balanced. He creates, sustains, and destroys to maintain the balance of the divine design. Let us hear what the Lord has to say on balance and equanimity.
Sai Ram. Now, what does Swami want from a true devotee? That the devotee should always remain contented and take pleasure and pain as his prasadam. Let me narrate two of my experiences with Vidya Vahini, which helped me understand this expectation of Swami. Now, Swami also says that we need to cut the ego or the I to realize the divinity within ourselves. Now, participating in the Vidya Vahini program has been a very humbling and rewarding experience in this regard. Now, owing to my years of experience in the IT industry, I always thought that I was very good at PowerPoint. However, when I started attending the training program, I realized that there was so much more to learn in this area. The trainers and the mentors taught us so meticulously about so many tips and techniques that I was really impressed. And I realized that there was so much more to learn than what I actually knew. So this was a very humbling and revelatory experience in a very pleasant way for me. In addition, I truly admire the skills and commitment and perseverance of all the Vidya Vahini trainers and mentors who show such exemplary humility and dedication in rendering this seva. This was a very beautiful and learning experience for me. Now, secondly, I'd like to state what I learned about another teaching, that we need to be in a state of equilibrium in all kinds of situations. Now, how I learned was this, that I actually started working on Vidya Vahini when COVID started. So as we all know, this was a period of great darkness and gloom for many of us. Now, whenever I felt myself in a low situation due to the isolation imposed by COVID, working on the assignments always brought me back to a state of happiness. I realized that when we do Swami's work, we automatically derive the kind of bliss that we can never get from material or worldly pleasures. So working on assignments always brought me back to a state of equanimity whenever I felt low, and also brought me back to a state of equilibrium whenever I went too high in terms of my ego self. So this helped me understand the trait that we must always remain in a state of balance in all kinds of situations, whether pleasure or pain, and take both as Swami's prasadam. Thank you, Saira.
Very true, Priya sister. I was your batchmate, if you remember. During COVID times, even we got the opportunity to get the training. And I'm also a computer teacher for more than 2 decades. So I took it up with I thought it will be a very easy cakewalk for me doing the PPT. But as I went through the training and as I was delivering the PPTs with all the mentors' support, I realized I had to learn so much and make an effective presentation with all their support. Love all and serve all is what Swami's words, and I think true to these words, all the mentors and volunteers are contributing to Vidya Vahini. Vidya, the knowledge, using this technology, the Vahan, they are reaching to every small town or a village or a city. And through this is what is touching my heart. Through this seva, they are keeping the balance in education in all sects of society. And that's what I think Swami wants. And during this COVID times, it has really helped me. Vidya Vahini's contribution, being part of this. I'm very grateful to Swami for choosing us for doing this seva. And during this rough sea of life, we all need to seek Swami's refuge to find the right balance, isn't it? I invite Aarti sister to express the melodies of true surrender to the Lord, as Smita sister portrays her heartfelt emotions through her vivid strokes.
मेरा जीवन तेरे हवाले प्रभु, इसे पग पग तू ही संभाले, पग पग तू ही संभाले से हो, पग पग तू ही संभाले, मेरा जीवन तेरे हवाले प्रभु, इसे पग पग तू ही संभाले। भव सागर में जीवन नैया डोल रही है, और रखवैया डोल रही है, और रखवैया से पार तू ही उतारे प्रभु, इसे पग पग तू ही संभाले, जीवन तेरे हवाले प्रभु इसे पग पग तू ही संभाले। मोह माया के बंधन तोड़ो हे प्रभु अपनी शरण में ले लो, हे प्रभु अपनी शरण में ले लो। इस पापी को अपना ले प्रभु इसे पग पग तू ही संभाले। मेरा जीवन तेरे हवाले प्रभु इसे पग पग तू ही संभाले। पग पग तू ही संभाले से हो, पग पग तू ही संभाले। मेरा जीवन तेरे हवाले प्रभु इसे पग पग तू ही संभाले।
मेरे जीवन तेरे हवाले. What a profound meaning, isn't it, Radhika?
Yes, so true, Sudha sister. The Lord's master design will manifest in spite of all the worldly odds. And Vidya Vahini is actually heightening our awareness of the entire design. It was so fascinating to listen to the soulful bhajans and experiences by our brothers and sisters relating to each of the design elements of alignment, proximity, hierarchy, repetition, and balance.
Yes, we, the specks of his creation, aligned to the Lord's design, as our heart grow fonder in close proximity to him. We give him the highest hierarchy in our lives, and we can't stop repeating his holy name. This constant awareness of his presence brings a balance and equanimity in our lives.
Rightly said. We emerge through his willpower, adding to the elements of the divine design, and then dissolve to become a part of his design. Thus, the creator and the creation become one.
Yes, true, sister. It is Salokyam, Samipyam, Sarupyam, and Sayugyam. So with that, brothers and sisters, we conclude today's satsang. But before we conclude, please do try to answer the question posted in the chat below.
And while you click your answers, also, if you do have any questions on the theme of today that we have presented, please do feel free to post them in the chat too. Expressing our heartfelt thanks to each of you for joining us in this satsang today, and immense gratitude to Bhagwan for including us in this master design, which knows no beginning and no ending. The divine design is clear and our hearts resound that we are his, we are his. Ye dil ki awaaz hai, hum tere hai sai.
बदल जाए जहां, धरती बदल जाए आसमां। चाहे बदल जाए जहां, धरती बदल जाए आसमां, हम सदा तेरे साथ रहेंगे, प्यार की नगरी में सदा, प्यार की नगरी में सदा, हम तेरे साए, हम तेरे हैं। कुछ न चाहिए साए हमें, बस चाहिए एक प्यार तेरा। कुछ न चाहिए साए हमें, बस चाहिए एक प्यार तेरा। तेरे प्यार में ही मिलती है हर चाहत की बहार में, हर चाहत की बहार में, हम तेरे साए, हम तेरे हैं। दिल की आवाज है, होठों पे बस ये याद है, हम तेरे हैं साए, हम तेरे हैं, हम तेरे हैं साए, हम तेरे हैं, हम तेरे हैं साए, हम तेरे हैं।
ओम जय जगदीश हरे, स्वामी सत्य साई हरे, भक्त जना संरक्षक, भक्त जना संरक्षक, पति महेश्वरा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, शशिवदना श्रीकरा, सर्वा प्राणपते, स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते, आश्रित कल्पलतिका, आश्रित कल्पलतिका, आपदान्धवा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, माता-पिता गुरुदैवमु मरि अल्तयु नीवे, स्वामी मरि अल्तयु नीवे, नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ, नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ, नागेन्द्रशयन। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, ओंकार रूप ओजस्वी हो साई महादेवा, सत्य साई महादेवा, मंगल आरती अंधुको, मंगल आरती अंधुको, मंदर गिरिधारी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, नारायण नारायण ओम, सत्य नारायण 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 ओम, नारायण नारायण ओम, सत्य नारायण 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 ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा शांति 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 समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु शांति 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 जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय।